Alright. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. What is up, everyone? I'm back. It's good to be back, Joe. It's really good to be back. So I've been busy for a lot of it. I was streaming mostly on TikTok for a while. Well, not quite a while, because I also didn't do it a lot. And also, like, whenever I was like too tired or too busy, I just didn't straight up do it at all. Because, yeah, reasons, I'm gonna guess. And I kind of want to see if all of. Shoot. Nope. Okay. Show comments on stage. Boo, it's part of their like paid friggin' plan, so on and so forth. Let me see if that share screen thing like works. Oh wait, hold on. Your browser is blocked. Okay. Today we're gonna be reacting to some, because I've heard of these like anti woke creators just basically like talking about how, oh, this person and this person is like wrong, basically just like crapping on like their opinions, so on and so forth. All right. And what are the green dots? Wait, where's like the friggin' music? Where's that? Where's that again? Hold on, it's bad. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Fast heartbeat. Oh my gosh. Oh man. This will take a bit to like figure out. What do I like? Ah, crap. Oh yeah, I have the friggin' free version. Okay. Where's the shoot. Minimize. Oh, I look so tiny. There we go. Bow, 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 bow. Let's see. Hopefully, I can make it back to 400 subs some point soon. What up, Yvonne? How are you doing, my dude? Well, besides earlier. Okay. I just want to see. Hold on. Share screen. Let's do it. Let's hope that this doesn't make StreamYard crash through and through. All right. So today we're gonna react to some people who are going against anti-woke grifters. Meaning their actual and grifters themselves. One of these in Hollywood is represented horribly, and I agree with his take on that representation. I agree with his take on that. I disagree, however, on his take of calling the anti-woke crowd grifters, because number one, they're just expressing their opinion like everyone else, and B, number two, doesn't that also make you a grifter if you don't know a certain piece of media? And I'm sure some pieces of media he knows, but with other friggin' pieces of media, other pieces of media, he just doesn't even know. Video attacking, or not attacking, trying to prove the anti-woke crowd wrong, so on and so forth. Let's see there. Okay. Oh, here we go. There's the video. All right. Yo, what's up, Chosin? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yup, I am totally back, and I'm reacting. Hold on. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, let's get started on the video and my takes on Okay, there we go. There we go. So I think I got it fixed now. I've gotten it fixed now, guys. I think it's just like crashing whenever I share my screen. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. All right, for a better introduction, just in case if you came back after the crash, I'm gonna be reacting to anti-woke film criticism isn't real criticism because I think now my screen's like okay. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. Anti-woke criticism, film criticism isn't real criticism. Well, it is real criticism because it took over Hollywood a lot of the time. And they're putting certain agendas in it. They're putting their own agenda in it, and that's why most Disney projects, a few Warner Brothers projects, Rings of Power. That's why all those shows like didn't do well. That's why they didn't do well. So, oh dear Lord, look who it is. Look who it is. Hold on, you're on the screenshot of shame. You're there. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay, that I can't believe you got like third. All right, ban. Let's go. There we go. Sometimes StreamYard is a little bit underground. Yes, I. My Oz footing, or is the grade one, or is the grade back? Oh, underground, you're funny. A band Cow or Mr. Cow. Hold on. All right. For the third time in a row, today I'm reacting to anti-woke film criticism isn't real criticism, and it's basically just him. Like it's basically just this YouTuber saying that anti-woke film critics, like the Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, so on and so forth, are wrong about expressing their opinion. And I don't agree with the Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic on all of their opinions at all. The Critical Drinker didn't like the Thunderbolts movie. I liked the Thunderbolts movie, and I like how it displayed the message of mental health. So yeah, let's get into this video in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Let's get this full screen. There we go. Let's do it. Okay, hold on. Okay. How would this do at like 1080? If hopefully it won't make StreamYard crash. Yes, I agree. And that throughout the Ironheart show, Riri Williams can't form words in mouth. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? Oh my gosh. All right, exit that. As I was saying before that popped up, Riri Williams throughout Ironheart is a complete narcissist. She is like a complete supervillain since Wakanda Forever. And I think it was just Marvel like making a show about a character we don't really care about anyway. So, yeah, let's continue on with the video. True. Yeah, do you know why? Because Ironheart is basically crap. It was basically a crap show. And I'm glad I didn't watch it, but from what I'm hearing and from what I'm hearing about all of the episodes of the show, it's a piece of crap. They've been doing it for okay, first off, they've been doing it for quite some time. And I don't know if they started since the first of the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, The Force Awakens, came out. I think that's kind of when they got their start on YouTube. So, yeah, I'm just pointing that out because they're because that said minority was being milked to death by Hollywood. And I mean they're being milked to death, especially within the Black and LGBTQ communities, especially those two. Because the female characters are written horribly. They are written horribly all throughout the movie or show, or especially video games. But we're specifically focused on talking about like film and television shows and how those types of characters are written terribly. And I can give you several reasons why they're written so terribly. Like, first of all, some actions that they do, they don't even make sense to the plot. They don't even make sense to the plot. And whenever that Mary Sue type character like does said action which they don't take accountability for, like, oh my gosh, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever to that specific character. Let's get back. Yeah, I agree that not all of the female characters in Star Wars are absolutely terrible. It's just when Disney got their grubby mitts on Star Wars, they've made horrid content. They made horrid content. And The Acolyte is just one example of that horrid content, with both Osha and May being the worst characters in all the Star Wars universe or in all the Disney Star Wars universe. I loved The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, and Cara Dune was one of the better written female characters. And I also think for Mando season 3, Bo-Katan like overstayed her welcome. And I think The Mandalorian season 3 should have been about something else. Like kind of, I don't know, for example, like there should have been there should have been an episode dedicated to like Grogu wanting to be with Din Djarin again and going to that planet. I don't remember if that was ever an episode, and anyone will feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, so on and so forth. So, yeah. Yep. Oh boy, ads. Goodbye. And that's also what makes his channel work. And he's just expressing his opinion on what he thought of the film, what the film took away from it, and that Disney, and as he consistently points out, that Disney is doing a horrible job of writing these movies and spreading the agenda. Because Disney is now a terrible company. Yeah, because the plots to those movies, and you're right about this, are often often rushed because Disney wants like, I don't know, 10 Marvel movies a year. 10 Marvel movies a year. And around that time, Disney was just writing themselves into a corner that they couldn't get out of said corner, and basically gave us a piece of crap, or actually multiple pieces of crap at once. So yeah, and you have these anti woke people calling out Disney for like using certain agendas, and that those types of agendas shouldn't even be allowed in movies. 7 or 9. Yeah. The anti woke critics, or as he calls them, the anti woke grifters, also point out stuff that is nonsensical to the plot of the movie, or the CGI is like way off, way off, and looks like a PS2 video game, so on and so forth. That's also what they point out. And you are looking at this in a superficial way when you should be looking at it in a more complex way. Yes, because Revenge of the Sith is about a Star Wars movie. Yeah, because us as kids really liked the prequel trilogy, and some of the more Star Wars adults like hated on the prequel trilogy because it was not the original trilogy. And like some of the stuff Star Wars fans did back then, that was terrible. But looking back now, the prequels are really good movies. They're really good. And I bet some of those people that hated on the prequels are eating their words right about now. Yes. Yeah, the prequels had some stuff. They had some stuff in which didn't actually make sense and kind of make you go, what the heck is that? But overall, the prequel trilogy is a much better story, with The Phantom Menace being a good start. Attack of the Clones, I didn't like as much, but it's still a way better movie than anything sequel related. And Revenge of the Sith, the masterpiece of the prequel trilogy. No, yes, I agree. Oh my gosh. That's hi. Oh, no, no. They're just wondering. Wait, am I even sharing the screen? Ah, shit. Ah, shoot. Hold on, guys. I don't know if half of that video was like on there or not. Okay, there we go. Thanks, Joe. There. And your band? Okay, hold on. There we go. It's good to be back underground. And hold on. Let me see if I'm even sharing the screen. Oh, okay, I'm not sharing that screen. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, you're also going to crap. You're also going to the screenshot of shame. Sharing that screen. Okay. To the screenshot of shame. There we go. Let me see if there's anything else. This one banned at Bandcamp. Oh yeah, that's funny. And you, oh dude, you do not have my IP address, dude. Okay, what are the new comments again? All right, I'm gonna try screenshotting again. Since, what do you think of the spin-off Game of Thrones? I haven't seen the trailer yet, which that's kind of a boo on me. Okay, screen share. Hopefully this won't make it crash big time again. Okay, there we go. Now I just want to see on my phone if it works. Now I just want to see on my phone if it works. Okay. I don't know if it's even screen sharing and whatnot. I don't know if it's even screen sharing. Oh, I forgot. Crap. What up, Austin? It's been a while, guys. It's been a while since I've used friggin' StreamYard. If this were a recorded video, it would be a mess. It would actually be a mess right now. It would be a mess. This dude doesn't arm wrestling. I can beat him easily. No, you won't. You won't even beat my friend Caleb. And he cheats in arm wrestling. There we go. Oh, thank you so much for the second like. You're awesome. All right, mods that are here, keep an eye on the stream. Keep an eye on the stream just in case if any more of those people like show up in general. And oh my gosh, I didn't know why this was like so dumb. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah.
Received for playing young Anakin. Things were really not good at all in the Star Wars fandom around this time, even though Drinker might try to convince you that it was. His takes on media are so bottlenecked in order to meet his own agenda of rage baiting people into clicking on his videos because he thinks
it's not rage bait. It's clearly obvious that Disney is putting their own agenda in the Star Wars universe, and that's why older Star Wars fans always refer to Star Wars Legends, because it provides a deeper lore for the Star Wars universe and also has the Old Republic. And also them putting in Darth Plagueis in the Acolyte when he wasn't even supposed to be around yet was so dumb. It's really dumb how they didn't like put him in.
something is woke and wants to convince other people that it is too. Ironic, given the fact all the media he criticizes he tries to say is spreading the message, quote unquote. However, something is very interesting about this. Whatever a piece of media that he thinks is spreading, quote unquote, the message is actually received well, he will somewhat backpedal and say, oh, this is all right, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, while still throwing up random things about how.
I think for some of it, it's the way some of these movies are like marketed. It's the way they're marketed that makes audiences go, oh, great, another girl boss again. But I think after actually giving it a watch, it's actually really good. It's actually good. So it just depends overall on like also how you market your movie. Yeah, it just depends on how you market your movie and how well the trailers were received. And the other two examples, besides Prey, that I don't know if their trailers got received well, but with Furiosa and Ballerina. Furiosa was actually a great movie. I haven't seen Ballerina yet, but I think it might be good. I'm gonna have to check it out.
How it shouldn't have been woke anyway. I think a really good example of this is his take on the film Prey, which was the first Predator film made after Disney bought Fox and got the rights to that franchise. When Disney initially dropped the first trailer for Prey, which was meant to be a Hulu exclusive, of course Drinker hopped right on top of this, immediately trying to call it woke propaganda and complaining about how a young Native American girl could possibly take on the Predator.
It's because it was the way the trailer was marketed. It was the way the trailer was marketed. And audiences are tired of seeing this girl boss trope in Hollywood movies around that time. And that was also before the rise of She-Hulk, when the girl boss way too hard into the sun. And audiences are also afraid that new Predator movie, Prey, around that time was gonna end up like Star Wars. Was gonna end up like Star Wars or later Marvel movies where they incorporate the agenda.
And even Arnold Schwarzenegger struggled to do so back in the 1980s. He also magically assesses that clearly from this one single trailer, this must be feminist propaganda. And it also isn't accurate to old hunter-gatherer societies because they would have beaten the crap out of somebody like this, is apparently his reasoning.
So of course our protagonist turns out to be a strong female character who just wants to become a hunter against the wishes and traditions of her tribe. Why? So the rest of the plot can happen.
Okay. I don't know much about Native American mythology or much about Native American culture, crap, I don't remember what part or what tribe Naru was a part of. So, anyway, as he was saying right there, the true accuracy of the situation, like, Native American women are only like gatherers. And if one of them tried to hunt, and I think there's some Native American tribes where women also hunt, where they also hunt animals. And after that, and also in some tribes, in some Native American tribes, they don't allow the women to go hunting with the men. That's what the drinker was like pointing out, because Prey was set in a Native American time period. And yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out that no hunter-gatherer society of that time period would have tolerated this kind of bullshit from one of their own. Those ideas would have been literally beaten out of her before she could say, smash the patriarchy.
The last point he tries to make there, when you really think about it, doesn't actually hold that much water, because there have been plenty of movies set in history that aren't technically historically accurate that are still received very well.
Yes, I rightfully agree. Gladiator, for example, like Russell Crowe's character didn't exist in the film, but or did he? I don't know. But it's not all historically accurate, but it's a really amazing movie. It's a really amazing movie. Gladiator 2, whole other story. Gladiator 1, a masterpiece of a movie. Or it's almost a masterpiece of a movie. Yeah, and Prey is just another example of a great movie that's like ruined by, once again, terrible marketing. And I mean terrible marketing there.
well, such as Amadeus being a great example. Amadeus is a classic film from 1984 about the alleged rivalry between the famous composer Mozart and another composer around the same time by the name of Salieri. Historically, it's never really been confirmed whether Mozart and Salieri were actually rivals or not, and some even claim that they might have been friends. All that is really known about them throughout the
Okay, I don't know who came up with the idea that Mozart and Salieri were rivals. I don't know if it was like this movie that cemented that idea because they've lived around that same time. Again, it could be historically accurate that they are rivals. Then again, they could be friends. They could be like good friends around that time that performed concertos together. It's not about whether the movie is historically accurate or not. It depends on whether the movie or the show set in history or set in a certain time period in history was actually good. And an example I'm going to bring up is actually, I have 4 examples to bring up. The first example being The Last Kingdom. And I don't know if everything about Uhtred is true. Oh, it's also based on a book set on that time period, but it has actual historical figures. And I think some of the book was true. And heck, 2 of the better characters, Finan and Citric, were not a part of the book. They were TV show exclusive. And The Last Kingdom is a masterpiece of a show on Netflix. Also, another example, Vikings. And in the beginning of it, Ragnar and Rollo aren't brothers at all. I don't know why Michael Hurst added that in, but the first 4 seasons of Vikings were masterpieces through and through. Meanwhile, for I think season 4, part 2, that's when it started dwindle a bit, and then season 5 came along. It's not great, but it's also not terrible at the same time. Season 6, part 1, again, not great, but season 6, part 2 really hit it home. So watch the original Vikings. And with Vikings Valhalla, season one of Vikings Valhalla was actually great. If you can look past the black female Jarl Hakon, which I didn't mind her too much. Too much. Well, season 2 of Vikings Valhalla, I don't think it was that good. And I didn't even give a crap about watching season 3, even though I think it's based on I think how Harold joins the Varangian Guard, which are Viking bodyguards in the Byzantine Empire. So it's not about if it's historically accurate, it's if your story is really good. And I'm saying this for both movies and shows.
This period of history is that they were in constant contact during their years in the Vienna music scene. So really, this film doesn't actually have any real historical fact to it, but that doesn't stop it from being a great movie. It won 8 Oscars when it came out, and it's generally considered one of the greatest films of all time, and rightfully so. So really, Drinker trying to claim this film isn't historically accurate and that automatically will make it bad just for the trailer alone does seem pretty foolish. But what makes this even...
I think we were all worried around that time, once again, that Prey was going to end up for the Predator universe like the sequel trilogy was for the Star Wars universe. That they're going to focus on, oh, I'm a girl boss Mary Sue and I can do anything, which is not the case at all. And I mean at all. Which was not the case at all.
More foolish is that when Prey actually came out, it was actually received very well,
Yes.
even by some viewers of The Critical Drinker. And after realizing this,
And I'm glad that Prey proved us wrong. And it proved that it can be an actual good movie that uses a female protagonist. Again, Prey is one of the examples of modern movies having a female main character be an actual character and not a Mary Sue caricature who's annoying as fuck.
he ended up making a half-hearted video about how he thinks Prey was at least okay, which is basically just code for I shouldn't have based this movie just on its trailer. But somehow, even in this review where he says this film was surprisingly good, he
Fear not what lies ahead. The 6 dragons shall
Oh
step.
my gosh, ads.
he still tries to shame it for quote-unquote not being historically accurate and also being overly feminist.
She thinks and acts more like a 21st century college student than an 18th century Native American woman, determined to defy gender norms, compete with the boys, stand up to anyone who disrespects.
Okay, I think I'm going to call out the drinker on this one, or I'm going to disagree with the drinker on this one. I'm not calling him out, but I'm disagreeing with the drinker on this one because Amber Midthunder did her best to like act like a Native American woman around that time period. And I think she did a good job with that. And the writers actually made her a character.
And smash the patriarchy. And I don't know, man, I find it kind of hard to believe that anyone living back then would even have those kinds of aspirations, never mind being allowed to indulge them.
He tries to claim that it appears that Naru, the main Native American woman in this film, is always trying to stand up to her male-based tribe and the patriarchy because it's woke propaganda, which, no, that's really not what it is. And it's also ironic that he tries to use these exact points against Prey when, just a year earlier, he praised Disney's original animated Mulan for the exact same things.
See, the original
Because the animated Mulan was a great story. And he uses that as an example for how female characters are done correct. And now Naru is another example of how female characters are done correctly. Oh, and the live action Mulan sucked.
actually took a pretty balanced and realistic view of the
Yes.
subject of women serving in the military. Animated Mulan wasn't particularly big or strong or good at fighting because that wouldn't be realistic given her background. She was actually kind of clumsy and unsure of herself, and she had to work extra hard just to keep up with her male counterparts. But the difference here is that Prey is a prequel, you see. A prequel about a young Native American girl who has to defy her tribal traditions in order to take on a nearly invincible hunter from another world. Because, you know, if elite special forces operatives, hard-boiled detectives, and entire squads of specially trained government agents can't stop these things, then a 100-pound teenage girl is definitely going to make the difference.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture.
I do
And
like
this
that
picture.
reference, though.
They're the same picture.
Drinker literally wants to have his cake and eat it too. He will call a movie like Prey quote-unquote woke, but not a movie like 1988 Mulan, which does the exact same kind of thing with its main female character. Both Mulan and Naru are not Mary Sue characters, and they both
Right.
lose a lot, actually.
Yep.
And they both really have to work and train to beat the big bad guy that they're facing. Yet while Drinker will criticize Prey for this, he'll praise Mulan for the exact same thing. Like, come on, dude, make it make sense. Most of his full review for Prey just comes off as him being really bitter that he can't fully rip into this movie at all. And a lot of that is because, in his view, it's a lot easier to push an ideology of wokeism ruining Hollywood and making movies unsuccessful.
Because that's what Hollywood has been doing for like the past 10 years. And I don't mind wokeness if it's in small doses. But if wokeness is in like large, overwhelming doses, then it becomes a problem. And that is why I've moved on to Korean media, because they tell stories character development's really good, and overall, the writers don't have agendas to fulfill or put on screen. And Hollywood's been doing that for years. And I mean years. And they used to tell really great stories in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even though the 90s was a weird era for movies. Early 2000s, early 2010s, late 2010s, so on and so forth. And with all those eras, there are bad movies of those eras, but also in those eras, there are really great movies with passionate directors that actually give a crap about their film, writers that know the material really well, actors that are passionate about some of the characters that they played, though not all of them, and some of them didn't necessarily like their roles, so on and so forth. And trailer marketing, that's really good. So, yeah.
When the film in question is actually unsuccessful, which Prey wasn't. At the end of the day, Critical Drinker is a pretty blatant hypocrite and also just a grifter trying to push his own beliefs onto others in the guise of a very negative movie review.
Oh yeah, doesn't that also make you a grifter as well, dude? Doesn't that make you a grifter? Because number one, you're basically criticizing a person for having an opinion. Number two, your talking points, mostly good, but if you can take the agenda out of it, then in some cases, you'll be able to see what Hollywood is actually doing. I hope you see it someday.
And unfortunately, it does look like this has worked in a lot of ways, since there are a lot of people he's convinced that Hollywood is being ruined because it's too quote-unquote woke,
yes.
When in reality, there's a lot of other more nuanced issues with Hollywood that you could say is ruining it. It doesn't just boil down to...
I agree. It's not just wokeness, it's other issues that Hollywood, or for some productions, they have to like rush it, or do some reshoots that don't really go over well, and it just like ruins the movie altogether.
The movie being woke or whatever, that's just dumb. But inevitably, Drinker is not the only film critic to constantly try and push this agenda. Enter Nerdrotic, a channel that pretty much does the same thing as Drinker, but like 10 times more.
Again, I don't agree with everything Nerdrotic is saying, but I agree with most of what he's saying, so on and so forth, because what Hollywood's doing, basically, it's written itself.
More aggressive and also uses AI thumbnails. Great. Nerdrotic's thumbnails in particular are very blatantly just rage bait, since he'll often take a Star Wars or Marvel female character and use AI to either make them look ugly or overly muscular or something akin to that in his thumbnail.
Oh crap, ow.
In order to draw into place. He also used...
Hollywood wishes they can do what Nerdrotic can do. Oh my god. That is funny. That is just so funny, and also very true of what Hollywood's doing. Let's get back to the video.
The same red and yellow font on literally every single thumbnail, and it's really an eyesore to look at. In a lot of ways, I would actually argue that Nerdrotic is more superficial and also just straight up more hateful than Critical Drinker. Critical Drinker obviously is very superficial with the kinds of reviews he puts out, as I just described, but
not quite hateful, but kind of goes at it harder than the critical drinker. Because in case you don't know, Noah, the critical drinker is from Scotland and can't really do much except give opinion on modern Hollywood project, while Nerdrotic in America actually has some push.
With Nerdrotic, it really just seems to lean directly into rage bait more than anything else. There's a video he did where he tries to claim that
thumbnails are
Marvel
so
is
funny.
failing post-Endgame because they all got woke, quote-unquote. He lists a bunch of examples of failed Marvel projects post-2020, but
Yep.
interestingly enough, one he brings up is both Loki Season 1 and Season 2.
And of the 9 live-action D+ series, only
Oh yeah, also Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. That was an amazing show. Also Daredevil Born Again. Amazing show. Both seasons of Loki. And also WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Both of those are good shows. Hawkeye was all right. For the most part. Echo was pretty bad. Krapatha and the Wine Moms of Salem is awful. And Iron Narcissist is clearly the worst. Clearly. And She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. Okay, She-Hulk's the worst. Miss Marvel, I think it's bad, but it's not as bad as like Iron Narcissist, Krapatha and the Wine Moms of Salem, and She-Hulk.
one has gotten a second season, and it was awful. We're not going to allow that cope
No,
here.
it's not.
Which is kind of funny, because if you look at that, those are
I disagree with Nerdrotic on that. Loki season 2 was like one of the better written shows, one of the better written Marvel shows of the past, like, I think 2 years. 2 years. And that's with passionate people, passionate camera crew, passionate actors, passionate writers, and just overall passion all over the place.
actually two of the most highly acclaimed Marvel projects from the last 5 years. And it also just so happens to have a pretty diverse cast. Funny how that is, isn't it? And what do you know, Nerdrotic has actually straight up admitted to using rage bait for money and views before. Around the time the second Spider-Verse film was coming out, he took this opportunity to try and post Miles Morales is Miles.
Well, Miles Morales is a Spider-Man, but he is not the Spider-Man. The Spider-Man, and I don't know why it leads to some of these people like hating on Miles Morales. So I agree. I partially agree with Noah on that one, that some of these people like all of a sudden hate Miles Morales, while also at the same time, some of those properties, especially in the comics, are like milking the crap out of Miles Morales and putting him in crap stories. And Marvel Spider-Man 2, that was actually really good.
Morales every chance he got, since he knew this would upset Spider-Man fans.
I've made $1,000 on Twitter. $1,000. And I know there's people out there stealing content like he and Miles Chong, making a lot more.
Opinions.
But I'm making $1,000 off of Miles Morales tweet. Shit I would do for free. That,
Yes.
for one, is America. That is capitalism. And it's fucking hilarious.
Dude, come on, is this really something you want to be bragging about? I'll often try to stir the
I may disagree with Nerdrotic on the stuff going on in the James Gunn DCU, but I gotta admit that was funny. That was really funny.
Hot by just saying straight up racist things, even.
What there wasn't a lot of
Yeah, that's
was
what is
men.
best,
Not
but-
sure what happened to all the dudes in Wakanda. Maybe they went off to get a pack of
think I know what
Salems and
he's
never
talking
came
about.
back. Oh, shit. I don't know if I'll keep that one in.
I don't want to spend too much time discussing Nerdrotic much further, since I think it's very clear what he gets his kicks from, and that's inciting controversy in order to get
And you don't have to.
clicks and money, which I don't think is worth my time, nor worth your time either. So I'm just gonna cap this off saying it's
I'm
pretty
gonna go
blatant
look
what
at
he
it
is,
shortly.
and he's probably the stereotypical example of this kind of grifter YouTuber. The last really big and also really bad one that
Once again, he is not a grifter. Nerdrotic isn't a grifter. He is just expressing his opinion on certain projects. And you're the grifter for saying you're a grifter for saying that the anti-woke crowd are grifters. And let's look up the definition of a grifter, shall we? All right, dude. Yo, Jake. How's it going? Welcome back. Oh. Silver alert. Silver alert. Welcome back. Oh. Silver alert. There we go. How's it been going, Jake? There we go. Agatha. Anubis, what's up? If you're still here, what's up? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Tell Joe that I'm pretty sure he hit me accidentally. Oh. Tell Joe that I'm pretty sure he hit me accidentally. Yep. Yep, Prey was a great movie. Yep. Agatha. Yup, Agatha all along. I'm glad you're doing good, Jake. I'm glad you're doing good. Yep. What am I doing? All right. Oh my gosh. Another silver alert. There we go. And let's ban this one. There we go. All right. Anubis, if you're still here, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry I didn't directly talk with you that much because I was focused on like giving my takes on like this video right here. And guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go make some dinner. I'll see you all in a little bit. Oh yeah, in chat, behave yourselves. Behave yourselves. Oh my gosh. There we go. And guess what? Bye, Silver. I'll be right back. All right, everyone. I am back with dinner. Has Silver come in since? Have you all behaved yourselves? What were we doing again? Oh, yeah. No? Oh, wait, no for Silver. Okay. Okay, hold on. Yeah, let's look up the term grifter. There we go. Meaning, a person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. I saw him as a grifter who preys upon people. Or another definition of a grifter is a con person Grifters are operators that are on the highest level of running the con game on people. Ah. And I think that somewhat applies to Utterly Not and his like anti-woke stances going on. And I don't know if he like believes in that or hears about the project from the quote-unquote anti-woke grifters, if you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. No, I did not. Tara hates. Shut up. And I'm about to eat my dinner soon. There we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, Silver was definitely playing with his Barbie dolls. Oh man. All right, let's get back to the video as I eat dinner.
What I want to bring up specifically is Indy Mayon. Indy Mayon is most notable for trying to constantly make videos that expose the woke agenda of various video games. Which, by the way, if you'd like to see a video about me talking about anti-woke game criticism as well.
And that is because wokeness is now in gaming. It's now in gaming. And Concord is the most obvious example of putting in too much wokeness into games. And also, I think there's that, crap, what was that one where you travel in a van? Is that Duskborn? Duskborn? I don't know, something like that. Basically, where the game where you get triggered by like absolutely nothing. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Well, let me know down below, because there's a lot to say there too. Outside of games though, Indy Mayon has also discussed film a little bit on his channel, including one video that we're going to look at today called Why Forced Woke Diversity is Dying. Oh boy. This video was released around the same time that TMNT Mutant Mayhem came out. This film happened to feature a version of the character April O'Neil, who is African American in this version, and also slightly plus-sized, although I don't think it's that noticeable. But you know who did notice it? You guessed it, Indy Mayon, and he made a whole video on it. So let's take a look.
While April being black.
Okay. First off, he is wrong in so many areas because wokeness is dying in Hollywood. They're clearing out some of the writers that have put the agenda, even producers and directors that have put the agenda into movies and shows and video games. And I also didn't mind April's change that much. It's just that if the story is actually good and if April O'Neil in that movie is a good character, in which she was an all right character. She didn't like do too much except in the end where she goes to that newsroom and basically reports on what was going on, which would hopefully lead her to like do that school newspaper news thing. I don't know. I might have to watch that Turtles movie again, but let's continue.
Black is one thing. It is exhaustingly on brand that she's also unfit as well. It's not to say that heavier people shouldn't be represented in media, but I do think it's also not a good idea to legitimize an unhealthy lifestyle and then make that as a role model for people.
Okay, so right off the bat, he completely misconstrues what April's role is in this film and arguably TMNT as a whole. April is not meant to be a role model at all when she's just a character that exists. Nowhere in Mutant
Tell that to young girls in the 80s that were watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and saw some of themselves in April O'Neil around that time. Just tell that to them and tell me how that's going.
Mayhem, does it ever come across that April is supposedly being pushed as a role model for unhealthiness? I don't know where this guy got that from. In addition to this, I personally don't think she really appears that overweight at all, and she's also a teenager. So what this guy is doing is essentially fat-shaming a minor. Alright then.
April was always presented as a charismatic woman. She was someone who chased the story as a reporter despite its danger. But she was also physically fit as well, and was a role.
Yep. As things should be. And guess what? There are also great examples of fat female representation. For example, Zero the Hutt's mom from Attack of the Clones. Not the greatest example, but at least that's like a bit of representation. Or Darlene from I forgot what that series is called, where it's about like zombies spreading through certain areas in California. Ah, crap. In the first game, it was a grocery store. In the second game, it was a mall. And then in the third game, I think it was like a town in California. Anyway, let me know in the chat if you know the name of it, because I would really appreciate it.
Model to girls, with her design emphasizing being physically fit and made being healthy as something everyone should aspire to.
Again, I don't think even that's true either. Original April wasn't really being pushed as a role model for healthiness either, much like
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
how the new version of April isn't being pushed as a role model for unhealthiness. Her being unfit or fit doesn't really have anything to do with the integral part of her character and what she stands for. And if he really wants to try and make the argument that original April was the role model for healthiness or something, then maybe he should take a look at what...
Yeah, I agree there, but in most media, particularly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles media, April was portrayed as skinny. Not fat, skinny. But with April being a little bit on the chubby side in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, wait, I just want to make sure I'm getting that title right. Yep. Yeah, Mutant Mayhem. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah, it all depends on if April, whatever version, whether chubby or skinny, whether April was a good character. And with the Michael Bay version of April, not a great character. Not a great character. And Mutant Mayhem April was like fine. It was like fine, but the turtles were more interesting, and also the villains. Also,
the turtles and her are always eating together. She literally hangs out with 4 dudes who always eat pizza.
I'd like to invite you all in, but I really don't have anything to offer you guys except for frozen pizza.
Let's go for it!
You guys eat pizza?
Doesn't everybody?
And that's not really shamed at all there. So what's your point, man?
Physical fitness is important. You should push yourself to be the best version that you can be, and being overweight is not good for you. And if you think I'm being fat phobic, that says more about you than it does about me.
No, I think it's very blatant you are being fat phobic because you picked out a particular body type.
He's not being fat phobic. He's just saying that being fat, especially obese, especially if you're reaching like obesity, is not healthy. It's not healthy for you. And like there are fat people out there that actually eat healthy. And Endymion is not being fat phobic. He's not being fat phobic. He's just pointing that out.
On a character when honestly that doesn't really matter for them.
They could have easily made April a fit and daring black woman, and people would have been much more receptive to it.
It's funny he tries to claim that if they made her a more fit and daring black woman, people wouldn't be mad at it, when he shows the exact black version of April that people did get mad at from Rise of TMNT. I do remember when this show came out, a lot of people were actually really upset at the change to April's ethnicity. So this is just straight up wrong. Also, it's interesting that he keeps saying fit and daring in the same sentence as if a plus-size woman can't also be daring. Huh, interesting.
Not to mention that April at times helps the turtles fight, and she follows them into danger when it comes to chasing her news stories.
Again, depending on if April is chubby or if she's skinny, it all depends on whether she's a good character. And Mune Mayhem April was all right. Was an all right character. I don't know about Rise of TMNT April. I don't know about her, but from what she's giving me like annoying vibes.
This new version looks like she'd be out of breath opening a fridge, and it feels like a deliberate character assassination by the creators.
She's not even that overweight, dude. What are you talking about? Yet again, he seems to draw this comparison between being plus size and not being daring, which isn't true. If you watch the movie, April is just as daring in this one and just as down to help the turtles as any version of April. The fact she is now a black teenager who is slightly plus sized doesn't even really matter because it's still April. And it's also kind of weird to see an adult man harping on a teenage girl character. That just, I don't know, that's just kind of weird with how much he is fat shaming a literal minor.
I understand why these things are happening, and it's because creators want their female characters to be seen as unremarkable and attainable. But as someone who works out a lot, I think normalizing and worshiping the concept of being overweight is not a good thing for either your health or society.
No, April's character type existing in this film is not meant to encourage worshiping unhealthy lifestyles. I don't know where you pulled that from. This is really the problem with most of these kinds of reviewers. They just pull something out of thin air often, it feels like, that might not even really be there, which is very evident in this case. But don't worry, he didn't get mad at just the new incarnation of April O'Neil. He also took the opportunity to get mad at a new incarnation of another 80s cartoon character, that being Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, and oh boy, he sure had some stuff to say on that.
A really good tone-deaf example of this is the movie Snake Eyes.
Red Bull Zero. Zero sugar, 100% wings with monk fruit extract. Tried it yet?
By making him Asian instead of white, the writers end up missing the whole point of Snake Eyes as a character. By making him Asian, the filmmakers are pushing the stereotype that only Asian people should be able to do martial arts in films, not realizing that Snake Eyes was deliberately made a white man to break the stigma surrounding that stereotype. And with him being white, it was meant to showcase...
Yes, and in the comics, even though I don't read G.I. Joe or look into G.I. Joe media, but Endymion using that as an example for like anyone can do martial arts, not just Asians, but white people, black people, Latinos, Arabs, and just about anyone, despite gender, race, or sexuality, can do martial arts. And my friend Joe really loves martial arts movies. He likes martial arts movies, and I don't think he'd care if the protagonist was a certain race, just as long as there's a good story attached to it.
That anyone could learn martial arts, and it broke the tired trope that only Asian people knew how to fight.
Okay, first off, I think if you asked any random person on the street if they knew Snake Eyes was white, I think they'd answer no. And I think that's for two very big reasons. One, Snake Eyes always covers up and wears a mask. Nobody knows what he looks like, so most people probably don't even know.
From what I had to guess, it's mostly in like the shows and movies where he does that. And then again, I feel like this is the same thing for Halo, for the Halo show, that for those that have only watched the G.I. Joe movies and shows and never seen Snake Eyes Unmasked before. And that's kind of part of his character, where he remains masked. And that anyone, any race could be Snake Eyes. That anyone of any race could be Snake Eyes, whether it be white, whether it be black, whether it be Latino, whether it be Asian, anything, really. I think just as long as you've written that in a way that's good, in which Halo doesn't really do that at all. And then again, so doesn't Snake Eyes, for that matter. I'm going to say that, and I think in the comics it was revealed he was white. That he was white and broke that stereotype of that not just Asians can do martial arts, that anybody can do martial arts and anybody can look up to Snake Eyes because he is a memorable and relatable character.
He's white. And secondly, the way his character is, it doesn't really matter whether he's white or Asian, because the whole appeal of Snake Eyes is the entire mystery surrounding his identity. The only things that really matter with Snake Eyes at the end of the day are his rivalries, the fact he wears all black and never talks, and the fact he conceals his identity. The fact he's nameless and has no real sense of identity is actually a big part of the reason why people like him. He just has a cool design. Whether he's white or Asian really has nothing to do with that. And inevitably, Andy Mayan extrapolates this and tries to claim that because Snake Eyes was changed to Asian in one of the recent movies, that's why it flopped. When, no, that cannot be further from the truth. It flopped because nobody cared. I remember when this film was coming.
And I don't think it told a great story that came with it at all, from what I'm assuming. And I've wanted to watch that Snake Eyes movie for a while. Kind of glad I didn't, because I would have thought it was going to be a mediocre start for me to like get into the G.I. Joe franchise. And I wonder if the G.I. Joe movies are good at all. I don't know.
Coming out, and there was like no buzz about it at all. Nobody was even talking about the race swap here. It's just this guy. The reason why this Snake Eyes film flopped was just because of a lack of interest. Literally nothing else. Then, immediately after this, he tries to deny any allegations of racism that could be thrown at him for what he just said about two different characters by talking about how he loves Spawn.
Spawn had his...
It's not racist. It's just Indy Mion stating the fact. It's just him stating the fact as it is.
Stranglehold on a young me from the moment I saw him. He looked insanely badass, and his outfit was scary with those glowing green eyes and the flowing red cape and chains that shot out of his body like Spider-Man's webs. As a child, all the way to even now, I still love Spawn and always went out of my way to consume any media that had him in it. Spawn was also a black superhero whose real name is Al Simmons. I'm Serbian and Armenian, so I'm like a white person mixed with the Kardashians, basically. By modern creator views, I shouldn't be able to see myself or connect with Spawn because he and I are different skin colors from different backgrounds.
Okay, so 2 things. First of all, he doesn't really describe what specifically about Spawn's character he relates to. He pretty much just says Spawn looked cool, and that's why I liked him. He doesn't go anything beyond the actual design of the character. But then he also goes ahead and says by modern creator reviews, he shouldn't be able to see himself in Spawn because they are different skin colors.
I think what he was saying, what Endymion was saying, was that if Spawn came out today and was made in a modern setting, made probably under Disney, woke Warner Brothers, Amazon, or woke Amazon, so on and so forth, that he wouldn't be able to connect with it. But since Spawn was made from classic comics, was made in a classic era, and that lots of people saw themselves in Spawn, that they could relate to Spawn, just like how lots of people relate to Kratos, how lots of people relate to Arthur Morgan, how lots of people relate to Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Terminator, how lots of people see themselves in Anakin Skywalker, how lots of people see themselves in Thorfinn from Vinland Saga, how people see themselves in Guts, how they see themselves in literally any other piece of media which has a relatable male or female character in existence. And that's what Endymion was pointing out.
Come from different backgrounds. That in of itself.
Yeah. And also, you don't have to come from the same racial background. You don't have to come from the same racial background.
Struggling with anxiety, depression, or emotional stress? Don't do it alone. At the Psychiatric Care Center in Portales, we
distracting me from what I'm saying. Okay. And then it doesn't matter your racial background. If you relate to the character in any way or relate to aspects of said character, then yeah, you relate to that character. You relate to him, and at the end of the day, that character is going to go down in the history, or in the history of your mind, as being a memorable character. So who cares? Love for the character goes beyond race. Goes beyond race. And with some of these modern characters who happen to be black, who happen to be Asian, who happen to be Latino, who happen to be white, who happen to be gay, like, the modern versions are just made to give a crap representation of those communities. Yeah, it's just to give a crap representation of all those communities. And that it's not character depth or character growth. It's a diversity point. Basically, it's a diversity point. And that characters should be characters despite race, despite sexuality, and despite background.
segregating. He literally just said you don't have to look like a character to relate to them, but then goes ahead and says, by all means, I shouldn't be able to relate to this character. You just defeated his own point. Also, I'm not really sure what this Spawn thing has to do with anything, given he was just talking about how he hates April and also hates Snake Eyes, apparently. It doesn't really feel like any of this was really that well thought out. And of course, he continues this nonsensical point by saying he likes characters like Violet from Tales of Berseria and Barrett from Final Fantasy VII, so clearly he's not.
In which those two are really good and well-written characters. I've heard of Barrett from Final Fantasy VII, but never played Final Fantasy VII, but I could tell that Barrett is a much more well-written character. And need I name more Black characters that are actually relatable? Actually, I'm going to do it anyway, just to prove them wrong. Black Panther, T'Challa, for example. Relatable character. And his introduction in Civil War, when he jumped in to fight the Winter Soldier, had me in a chokehold. I didn't care that T'Challa was black or white. I just liked him because he was a cool character. Luke Cage, also a cool character. Let's see, who else? Doomfist from Overwatch. He was a good villain character. And that was before Overwatch ruined itself. Mace Windu, cool character with a purple lightsaber. Lando Calrissian, also a great character. Nick Fury, or modern Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. He was a cool character. Two of the characters from White Chicks, which I don't remember their names, but they're played by the Wayans brothers. They are really funny characters. And I didn't care. that they were black. They were funny. They were actual characters and not caricatures. Of those era. And many, many more characters. Oh yeah, Storm is a good black woman character, which Noah didn't point out at all. So yeah, I think I forgot the other character's name, but I can name a ton of Asian characters from K-dramas and beyond, which I don't care if they're Asian. I care if they're cool characters, like Yoon Ji-woo from My Name. She was a well-written and more fleshed out character, and I'm going to say this, a more fleshed out version of Echo, an even more fleshed out version of Echo. A more fleshed out version of Echo. Oh crap. Who was the main character in The Glory? I forgot her name. Sorry. Hold on. Let me see for no. Shit. Okay. Dong-eun from The Glory. Great character development. Great writing. For example, Ko Man-young from It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Shang-Chi from Shang-Chi. He was an incredible character played by Simu Liu, which I don't know if he's a bit on the wokey woke side. As long as it comes in small doses, then we're good to go. Do-hana from The Uncanny Counter. Yeah, Do-hana from The Uncanny Counter. Let's see. I can't name everyone at the moment, but they're all great characters. All of them well-written and well-received characters.
racist, and even tries to claim that the creators of TMNT Mutant Mayhem are racist for making April black, apparently.
People are more than the color of their skin, and we are all allowed to see ourselves and connect with things even if they don't look like us.
Yes.
I love characters like Violet from Tales of Berseria, even though I'm not a Japanese woman myself. I also love Barrett from Final Fantasy VII because he's this big, lovable dad figure with a goddamn machine gun for an arm.
And this proves that character development and how well written they are beyond what race a character is. It goes beyond.
Creators of this new TMNT movie or shows like Velma or Netflix's Witcher are low-key racist because they only see skin color.
Okay, admittedly, this is pretty low-hanging fruit, but when you show a picture of a character like Velvet like this, it shows why you like them, which, again, is very superficial. It isn't really diving into her character about why you like her. And he could have decided to talk about maybe a specific character arc or something that happens in her story that he likes, but no, he decided to show this picture instead, which is pretty telling. And even with Barrett, he literally just left it at, he's a dad who has a machine gun, and I like that. He didn't talk about anything about the depth to Barrett's character, and how he's a man haunted by the death of his best friend and feels survivor's guilt because of that, and that's why he takes care of Marlene. And how he feels he has to embody toxic masculinity in order to be seen as strong or powerful by those around him, because he wants to be.
Even though I haven't played Final Fantasy VII, but I don't think this Barrett character, like displays toxic masculinity for the reasons you're saying. And I think this just proves that you're just trying to get to like win a battle, but in reality, you are missing the mark or missing that punch in the boxing ring. And yeah, this just proves that you're missing the point.
He's seen as a leader. There is so much more you could say about Barrett than just he's the dad and he has a machine gun. Makes you really wonder if he actually played Final Fantasy VII before or even bothered to get to know Barrett's character at all.
Oh my gosh, lads. Bye. Excuse me. Man.
And after this, he has the audacity to talk about Serbian people and how he feels they're represented in media.
How many shows that involve terrorists have bad guys that are Russian, Serbian, Croatian, or Albanian? As a Serbian man myself, where's my representation? The only Serbians I have to look up to are the bad guys.
Yeah, and they may not always be the best or always represented as bad guys, but it does give Russians, Serbians, Romanians, Ukrainians, Baltic states, or Estonians, Hungarians, Czechoslovakians, Slovenians. Wait, I think that's the same thing that I've said. Never mind. Slovenians and many more. At least that got some of those people jobs in Hollywood. That's it. That at least got them jobs in Hollywood. Even if they're playing the bad guys in a Cold War era movie or a thriller movie, which happens to have Russian, Slovenian, or Eastern European bad guys.
Of Uncharted 2, which are Serbians.
My guy, you were just talking about how you don't have to look like someone to feel represented. Yet now you're whining about not having your Serbian representation? What are you even trying to say here? So it's okay if there's a positive Serbian representation, but not okay if there's a positive plus-size black representation? Make it make sense.
Yeah, because with that, it's not a part of an agenda. But putting in a black person that was formerly a ginger, that has an agenda attached to it, and that's what we are calling out. We are calling out the agenda, not being racist. We're just calling out Hollywood's agenda for this type of crap that they are pulling.
Honestly, out of all the videos I had to watch to make this video, I think this is the most painful to sit through and definitely the worst one because everything here is just so poorly thought out and none of it connects to anything. Which, at the end of the day, most of these anti-woke grifter channels come off like this anyway. Most of them try to take the tiniest thing and make a big deal out of it to make...
No. The reason they're making a big deal out of it is because Hollywood is using an agenda. They are using, or I don't know if you got it the first time, but they are using an agenda. The reason they place Black characters for diversity points or LGBTQ characters for diversity points is because of the agenda, and they are calling out that agenda in hopes that Hollywood would stop. And Disney at least took a step in the right direction in their baseball show. Crap, I forgot the name of it. And then hold on. There was an entire episode of that Baymax show where he's shopping for tampons for somebody. And this is for kids. For kids. Oh my gosh. At the end of the day, they're calling out the agenda, and lots of people are seeing right through Hollywood's bullshit.
It seem like diversity is ruining Hollywood. Their motto is go woke, go broke.
No, not diversity. Agenda. Agenda is ruining movies.
And to them, that means if a film has a diverse cast, then it's gonna flop, which just isn't true.
Again, no, that's not it at all. If it has a diverse cast, great. If it doesn't have a diverse cast, that's not great. Even diverse crews, diverse camera crews, diverse writers, diverse storytellers, diverse directors, diverse producers, diverse anything that is not under the agenda. And just in case if you didn't hear me the first two times, diversity is not the problem. It's the agenda Hollywood is trying to pull. The agenda is the problem.
I mean, look at two big films from this year even. Sinners and the Minecraft movie. Sinners features a diverse cast.
I have yet to see the Sinners movie. I heard it's like really amazing. While the Minecraft movie is just painfully mediocre. And the reason it was successful was because of the memes. It's because of the memes surrounding it. Not because of the story itself, but it's because of the memes. And the CGI in the Minecraft movie looked terrible. It looked like absolute shit. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Bro, I'm more interested in playing Rivals than watching The Walking Dead. But you're interested in ba-da-da-da-da. If you're a movie fan, why not do movie reviews, but you only do Marvel Rivals? The Russians are... Yeah, bro, that's not true. Oh, dear Lord. Anything you can do, I can do better. Oh my gosh. I talked to Tyrone Magnus because he's my best friend. Wait a minute. Time for the screenshot of shame. I'm going to put the music back on. There we go. Now I was just going to throw out my dinner. Around that time. What was it? Oh my gosh. Okay, where was it? Oh yeah. There we go. Bye. And now you. Bye-bye. Let's do this stream is so boring. Wait. I don't know if this person was like a silver. Okay, channel activity. Oh, I was there recently. Okay. Alright. Time to go bye-bye. Bye. That's your opinion on silver. Fanny IU. I guess with this phone I can like screenshot it fast and not slow at all. Oh shoot, no. Okay. Underground don't belong in the screenshot of shame. Okay. Who else? Okay, there we go. All right, Jake is a fake TV show fan. Then why don't you kiss your Barbie posters? Yeah, just kiss your Barbie posters, Silver. Just kiss them. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Hopefully everyone's on their best behavior, and hopefully Silver doesn't interfere much. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. Hold on. You do have Marvel Rivals posters. Go sleep with them, you fake TV show fan. That's your new name. All right, you're going to the screenshot of shame. And now, on to Cam Bannington. Bye. All right. Now I'm going to go back to the video I'm doing commentary on.
Of black people, but also Asian representation as well, and it's already making huge waves and a huge R-rated success. The Minecraft movie also has a very diverse cast, which you could definitely say some things about that movie's particular quality and how.
Yeah, it had a diverse cast, which was pretty good, but the only ones who actually gave a crap about the Minecraft movie were Jason Momoa and Jack Black, even though Jack Black played Jack Black in like the last, I don't know, 12, 15 years of his movie career. Well, except Poe. That he had to like actually put in a bit of effort, but actually it's kind of more modern Jack Black movies in which Jack Black is playing Jack Black and not Steve from Minecraft. And they should have gotten someone else to play Steve, and Jack Black should have like made a cameo in the Minecraft movie. And oh yeah, and the CGI for it sucks.
How much it leans into meme culture, but looks like it doesn't matter because the film has almost made $1 billion.
And it's made $1 billion because of the meme culture, not because the story is good, because the story, I feel like, even though I haven't seen the Minecraft movie, the story of it is mediocre. It's mediocre. And you must have not heard about the theater riots that it caused with people throwing their popcorn, throwing their drinks all over the place because of a certain chicken jockey line in the movie, which it's awful. And just because butts were in seats during the Minecraft movie doesn't mean it's always good.
At the end of the day, whether a film is diverse or not does not determine whether it's gonna be a flop or not. It's the film itself. In order to properly criticize a film, you have to.
Actually, it's the story itself. And also, you gotta also excuse me, you gotta also criticize a film based on if Hollywood is using a certain agenda or not, in which they are using a certain agenda for said movie or show. And a lot of the time, they actually are.
Look at the fundamentals of what makes a film a film. You have to look at storytelling, cinematography, acting, pacing, dialogue, all these things that are fundamental aspects.
Whether directors are using an agenda or not, whether the pacing is absolutely right, whether the story itself is absolutely right, whether the actors are into it or not. And the best example of an actor not really being into it was Val Kilmer during his time on the island of Dr. Moreau. He wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. And I mean, as soon as possible, because he also had a divorce with his wife, but I think the contract said to for him to not go or leave the film location anytime, in which they let Marlon Brando do for his daughter's funeral because he's friggin' Marlon Brando. And Marlon Brando like didn't even give a flying crap. He didn't give a flying crap about being there. And I think one of the only times he gave a crap about whether film he's in was The Godfather. I feel like that's the only time where he like gave a crap, even though I haven't seen the Godfather movies, but I feel like that's the only time where Marlon Brando actually gave a crap. And with his more recent work, he didn't give a crap about the movie that he was in and just wanted to get paid that paycheck, I guess. At some point, never meet your heroes.
Of a film. You can't just take a superficial look at something and call it woke and call it a day. That's not real criticism.
If Hollywood is using an agenda in the film, and if it's obvious for people to spot, or if it's not obvious at first, and then it has many woke agenda elements attached to it, then we have a right to criticize it. We have a right to criticize it.
But since I discussed 3 anti-woke grifter film critics that you probably shouldn't watch, I'm going to give you 3 film critics I think you should watch that really understand what it means to be a film critic and how you should criticize a film. First up, Patrick H. Williams. I really like this guy a lot. His videos usually...
You can criticize a film like however the heck you want. It's at the end of the day, it's your opinion whether you like a movie or whether you do not like a movie. Like I'm not gonna hold it against you if you like Book of Boba Fett or the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I'm not gonna hold that against you. However, I am gonna hold it against you if you say that the show has no problems, and then I'm gonna point out the problems. It's if you're willing to listen and have an actual discussion with someone on whether you like a certain movie or whether you don't like a certain movie. That depends. That depends, to be honest.
tackle a specific film, generally a lesser known one, which I really like, or like a film trope, which I think is super cool. He actually takes the time to walk the viewer through different facets of filmmaking that you should do, such as, pacing, storytelling, all the things already discussed. And in my opinion, he's one of the best film critics on the platform. Another one I really like is Savage Books for oftentimes tackling media that doesn't always get covered as much. Savage Books specifically looks at movies as an example to help people improve their writing, which I think is really cool. The last one I think you should check out is Better with Bob, who also does cover a lot of Disney animation, which obviously most of my audience will be into. He's done a very good video on analyzing Disney's Hunchback, Tarzan, and Hercules as possibly autistic characters, which obviously a lot of you will probably like. He does a...
Okay, I don't know if they were initially autistic characters, or if they were autistic characters in the books or mythology that they're from. I'm a person with autism, and like some aspects of those characters like remind you of autism. That doesn't make them their full character, and that doesn't mean that they fully have autism. It's just an aspect of the character which kind of reminds the autistic person of autism. And just because a character has this or that personality, that doesn't mean that they have autism. No, they have aspects of said character that at the end of the day correlate once again to aspects of autism. And that doesn't mean that that's their whole character. That means that they have some part of their character or an aspect of that character that remind that reminds autistic people of autism.
A lot of good videos overall, not even just about Disney, but also things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Avatar, and plenty of live action works too, so definitely give them a shot. Overall, the growth of these anti-woke grifter channels is very concerning, and I think it's more important than ever as a result to boost up real film critics.
It's not really concerning. I think it's just more and more people are listening to the truth and are speaking the truth to why Hollywood isn't as successful as they used to be. And it's because of the agenda.
Channels. Since A, they know how to actually analyze a film, and B, they're not just using their platform to spread hate. Huh, what do you know? It's almost like
okay, they're not really spreading hate on the platforms that they're on. They're just telling the truth no matter what. They're just telling the truth on the problems that Hollywood has and how Hollywood is doing nothing to fix said problems. And if they continue on this route, they're going to lose a lot more people. Heck, Disney is the prime example of like not stopping putting in the agenda in their movies. And guess what? It doesn't work.
Anti-woke grifters have their own message, just like the one they always get mad about. But what do you think? Am I wrong? Are these channels actually good? Let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video overall. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe and also give the video a like as well. I make lots of videos covering film overall and just things of that nature, so if you like good analysis, be sure to subscribe. You can also join my Discord to suggest...
Which I think it's an alright analysis. I think it's alright, but you've missed a lot of areas, especially areas pertaining to how Hollywood keeps putting in that certain agenda and why these anti-woke grifters are like saying stuff that you don't like. And guess what? I have an idea. Don't watch the channels. Don't watch if you don't agree. Honestly, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time with them anyway?
Topics for me to cover here on YouTube in the future. And you can also check out my letterbox, which is linked down below also, where I review movies and shows, oftentimes movies and shows I won't cover here on YouTube. All those are linked down in the description. But regardless, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new too. I've been Otterly Noah, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye!
Oh yeah.
Let's fuel up, Limu. Lots of people to tell about customizing and saving with Liberty Mutual. Those are mine.
Great. Second ad's gonna play.
The reality is I'm using multiple AI tools.
What
But
you
when it comes
do?
to writing, I trust Grammarly.
Okay. Stop sharing. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Yeah. I haven't seen the movie, and I'm glad I didn't see it. Heck yeah. I'm glad I didn't see it either. Don't get me started with the Minecraft movie. I worked at a theater. That was a fucking nightmare. Yes. Jack Black is funny as hell. He is pretty funny, but lately Jack Black's been playing Jack Black in every movie that he's in. Okay, and hold on. Let me put on the music. There we go. Ah, that's not what I want to do. There we go. All right. Okay, I better make sure that there aren't any more silver ass comments that he's putting forth in the chat. Yeah, there we go. All right. I think now that Silver has like stopped putting it in the chat, I'm gonna say what I got out of that analysis video. It's like all right, and I do agree with some of Noah's points on like certain stuff, but I disagree and that the anti-woke grifters are also. Hold on. It's funny that the person who keeps getting kicked from the stream is saying he won the debate. Yeah. Again, before I got distracted, with the anti-woke grifters, and honestly, that kind of makes him a bit of a grifter for saying stuff from people that he doesn't actually agree with. And I agree with him on how autism representation in Hollywood is a piece of crap. I agree with him there. But I disagree that the anti-woke grifters are giving their opinions, whether you agree with them, whether you don't agree with them. And like I've said during the beginning of the video, I don't agree with Nerdrotics or Critical Drinkers reviews of the Superman movie. I don't agree with that. And I also don't agree with Jester Bell's review for the Superman movie, because I actually liked the Superman movie. It's a fun, refreshing take, which it's fun and refreshing to see. It doesn't have a bit of woke stuff in it, yes, but you don't see it that much, which is an absolute good thing, in which James Gunn knows what he's doing. Will James Gunn make bad movies in his new DCU? Yeah, probably. There will be some bad stuff, but honestly, at the end of the day, James Gunn will take that criticism really well, and also at the end of the day, he would try to work on that and do better. And honestly, I don't know why Noah's wasting his time. I don't know why he's wasting his time, saying what he thinks. Sorry. Hold on. Let me figure out what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I don't know why he's wasting time on the anti-woke grifter crowd, in which hold on. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why he's wasting time with them. If they're saying something that you don't like, scroll off or go find another video to watch. That's all you have to do. Instead, we made an analysis video. And I do agree with him on certain things. And recently he made ranking of the Guillermo del Toro movies. I've only seen Pinocchio, and I'm gonna say for some of the movies I haven't seen, Crimson Peak looked amazing if you look past the incestuous relationship that Tom Hiddleston and Jessica Chastain characters had. If you look at it, if you look at it from a story perspective, if you look at it from a horror movie perspective, it's actually a great movie. It's actually a great movie, which I am yet to watch at some point. And yeah. Wait, what was this? What's this like question mark thing? Oh yeah. I didn't notice that on YouTube before, but now I do. Now I notice it on YouTube. Yeah, at the end of the day, everyone has opinions, whether you agree or disagree. He could have made an analysis video like saying why he disagrees with that statement, but nope. He calls them grifters for like saying something that he doesn't like. And that is like the number one reason why we can't have normal discussions. I still have to see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein movie. Yes. I actually want to see that too. It looks I heard it looks incredible. And I think Oscar Isaac might do fantastic as Dr. Frankenstein himself. Shoot. I don't know why I did that. And I've seen a bunch of different movies from a lot of countries. And with movies from other countries, especially modern movies, they put the passion, they put the time, the effort, the acting, and the actors actually do the stuff that their character does in the movies that they're a part of. For example, Kim Tae-ri. I heard that she learned fencing lessons before doing 25-21, and she always puts in a heck of a lot of effort into the stuff that she has to do to prepare for the movie. And that work ethic is what Hollywood needs again. It's what Hollywood needs again. Not agenda. Oh, yes, people, actors, cameramen, boombox people, producers, directors, so on and so forth. And diversity, it's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing, actually. But if you put agenda in it, then people are going to know. Then people are going to know that you put an entire agenda into said movie or show that you're doing. And with K-dramas and J-dramas, they don't put the agenda in movies, in their movies and shows. They don't do that. Instead, they just make the movie, shut up about political opinions that they have in South Korea, and just make the movie for the show. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to call it. Thank you all so much for being here on my first day back on YouTube. And for next time, I'm gonna have to do what do we know as like anti-woke game criticism isn't real criticism, which in recent times it is valid criticism. So I hope you all look forward to that, and I'll see you all in the next stream, or I might do a video at some point. Bye, guys. Okay, turn off music.